Turn that down a bit. Then Live-to-Tape. Can't really go with this for NashvilleLou Live just yet. What is this music I have here? Trying out some new tracks. No promises on how well they'll transfer as far as this goes. So I've got my music for the first time routed through the actual computer it should be routed through. So I can separate the music from the audio from this particular game here, Blockchain Brawlers. Okay, this music's going to be way too much here. Nice and low. I'll be making some cuts with this anyway, so. Typing this into Discord. So I actually logged in on this other computer, which I normally keep Discord separate. We'll see how this goes. 3GT9B. As I hear somebody on the road doing a burnout that's loud enough inside my house with a headset on I could hear. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, and here we go. So better get ready, huh? Have to turn down the... Maybe not. Okay. Not the best. We'll go pair of fives. Maybe in a decent spot here. Unknown players could be a computer opponent. 2 in a blank. I've got this win for sure. At least a push. Say win for sure, as that's not correct. If they had an 8, we both have 10 points. It'd be a push. So they bet 1, then called me on the bet to 2. So it's a win unless it's an 8, in which case it's a draw and we'll both inflict damage. It's a win for me. The first round, though, isn't really as much about how much damage you deliver. If you've got like a 3-1 or a 1-3, something like that, where you can get those multiple boosts early to your power meter, makes a huge difference. Speaking of making a huge difference, coming here laying nice with this 7-8 combo. I'm not flexing. Flexing is where your first card is higher than your second card, the setup and the slam. So against a 4-0 for sure, I've got it. There's a 2. Bet a 2 doubler, essentially. They bet 1. Will they either call me or fold? Those are the 2 choices. You can't re-raise. I didn't even see what I picked there. Four damage, so my damage meter will go from 2 to 3. Because we bet 2 on that round, it was my damage meter times 2. 4-8, that's pretty nice to come in with. Against a 1, I know I've got it for sure. We'll bet 3. Get real aggressive like against it. The unknown player folds. I'll go with a flying elbow just to get that animation in here. And again, this is the browser beta version. All right, 5-7. That's pretty strong at this point. In all likelihood. We'll see what their first card is. If they got like a 7 or something, maybe different. Okay, I know I've got it for sure. I guess you can do your taunt. That's the emote part there early. We'll bet 2. As a doubler with my 4, my power meter, that make 8. We're getting some heat. So they folded. 4 damage to be delivered. I lead 25-12. Pretty brutal with the cards here. We'll go with a pair of 2s. Unlikely I'll stick around. We'll see what they got here, though. It's a 5. I'm going to fold. Now, I would beat a flexing hand here, so if their second card is lower than a 5, that's unnecessarily lengthy. They're still getting that worked out, the timing of all of this. They've got a lot in the works. It was a flex, so I shouldn't have folded after all. 2 damage. You flex. Doubles your power meter for that turn. Let's see. We'll go 7. No, we won't. We'll go with a pair of 1s and probably fold this as well, even though they've got a 4. That's a pretty strong spot to be. If they're flexing, it'd be a good time for them to flex. That would be 8 points of damage to me. But the smart move here is to fold. Okay, this is interfering with the flow of the match. Remind me not to pick that emote again. God. Still pops. They chant asshole at you for that. All right, so I lead 19-12 over the unknown player. I'll go 6-7 pretty strong here. I've been playing pretty tight. Against a 5 at best for them. They can force a split. We would both have our power meters reset, so they're not in the worst spot. I don't want them to get a free draw out of this. Not draw, free discards. It was essentially a free draw of an extra card. So we'll just go with a 1. They folded, so it didn't matter. Now, sometimes you'll see players, opponents that will go in for 1. If you've got like a 2 or a 3 bet at that point, they'll go ahead and fold so they can get the extra card for their next round. But if they go in with that bet of 1, you've already bet 1, they can't get out of it at that point. That's part of the psychology of this game. It's 19-7. I lead the unknown player. A 6, pretty good spot here. A pair of 6s up against this 5. That's an 8. That could be trouble, but I'll go in on a bet of 2. We'll see. Let's see what they got. This could be a big turn of events here. They folded, so it didn't matter. And we'll do the Cyclone Punch because it's kind of fun to see him do the big spin. 6 damage. They're down to 1 left on their health bar. Their health meter. I'm not sure what the proper term for that is. It's health points, I believe, is the way it was worded. I know some of this is still a work in progress, even with the branding of it. Okay, so they still have their power meter of 5. I can't get too weird on it. As far as what I do. 2-4, I'll probably just fold this. We'll see against a 6. I will fold it. Protect that power meter of 7. If you fold, the power meter is protected for the next turn. Their power meter is at 5. That's a flex. That'll double to 10. That would take me down to 9 points. So they've got this round because I folded. Let's see what they got. Okay, it was the right move there to fold. 6-8 is a very strong hand to have in a given round. I'm glad it wasn't a flex because that would have doubled the 6. Instead, with me folding, just 6 points of damage delivered. 14-1, I lead. If their power meter's there at 6, I gotta be careful. This kind of is not the best hand here. We'll go pair of 5s. I'll probably dump these actually so I can get the discard. Against a 7, I'm not going to take any chances, even if that's a flex. It's not worth the risk. Fold. Discard. Everything but the 7. Pair of 5s. To the wayside. Now, if that's a flex, that's going to bump that up from a 6 to a 12. We'll see. It was a flex. So that's 12 damage delivered. Winning with a 1 means an additional 2 to the power meter, although at this point that doesn't matter as much. It's 2-1. I leave the unknown player. And not the best as far as the cards I got that make sense. 6 and 7 will have to be good enough. The ride or die with it. Let's go in with a 1. The power meters are rather immaterial at this point. Let's see what they got for the match. Eight. It's an 8. Wow, so a big comeback win by the unknown player. There's a reminder that in Blockchain Brawlers, as long as you have 1 point remaining in health, you still got a shot. So generate a new code every time. All right, here we go. Jimmy Z. Yeah, I read a lot on the Discord board from Jimmy Z. Very confident in his game. We'll start with a pair of sevens. Pretty, yeah, let's go pair of sevens. I get cute with it. But to Jimmy thinks I'm sitting on a 7-3. We'll see. There's a 3. Of course, I'm going to lean into it a little bit. We'll go with the bet of 2. I love the audio with this. The boom with the cards. And there's the 3. I've got this for sure, so okay. Be my guest. And it's not the biggest deal to lose on that very first round. At most, you're taking 3 points of damage. What's tough is if you lose and your opponent wins the hand. That was a 3-8, so not the worst approach. The thought by Jimmy was that I was sitting like 7-3, which I did think about, but you get a pair of sevens like that out of the gate. Nice chance to use it. It's a shared deck of 32 cards. 1 through 8 are the numbers. You get 4 from each. And there's no necessarily rhyme or reason to it as far as the shuffling or anything. You can get stuff you discarded right back in your hand. So 1 and a 3 up against a 2. I might pop in for 1. I'll risk the meter there, but Jimmy will come in all swagger-like on the 3. Why did I not have to even look to know, which is fine. I'll fold, get the extra card for the next hand, and maybe he's got a 2-3. We'll see. It doesn't matter if he flexes here. When you early on, you've got 1 point in your meter. A flexing means very little. The more important thing is like if you're sitting at like a 2-1 or a 2-3, is that getting that 1 or 3 a victory with that 2-6. So only 1 point of damage. I made the right call by folding there. I'll get the extra card in my hand for the next time. We go to round 3. I lead 24-22. All right, this will be very nice here. I'll go with 7-8. It's 2. We'll go in on a bet of 2. Be a doubler there. Jimmy comes in on bet of 1. Either a fold or he's going to call. There's no raising. Not the way it works here. There are elements of Texas Hold'em. It's a call. So I'm going to get 4 points of damage delivered. I'll do the thrust kick. Actually caught a break early with the cards, and that happens sometimes in Blockchain Brawlers. Luck of the draw is part of it. But against a 2 and an 8, so it wasn't unreasonable for Jimmy to go in thinking I might be laying in there with 7-3 or 7-1. So 24-18, I got the lead. Good chance to dump a pair of 2s. Now, the tough one is if you're standing, like the first card's a 3 from Jimmy, or a 1. Then what do you do? And I think there'll be a point when the stats will be broken down. That could be a pair of 8s. I'll go ahead and fold. That could prove to be a mistake, but I'll protect the power meter, which will stay at 3. Jimmy will at most deliver 1 or 2 points if it's a flex. So if it's not an 8, it's the second card in essence. I think he's got a pair of 8s. It was a flex. I should have called him. Oh, 2 points of damage. Plus he wins the round with a 1, which means an additional 2 points to his power meter. You get 1 point for winning a round. If you win with a 1 or a 3 in your hand, you get an additional 2. If you got both a 1 and a 3 and or, then that's 4 points on top of the 1 for winning the round. 22-18. We'll go 5-7. I'm not thrilled about this. Let's see. This could be Jimmy winding up here. He's got a 6. We'll bet 1. He goes in on 3. If he's got a 7 or 8 there, he's got me beaten for the round. But I'm going to... It could be a lot of things here. As far as a flex. If it's a flex, I win the round. So unless it's a 7 or an 8... It was a flex. 9 damage delivered. Jimmy's power meter gets reset to 1. Mine moves up to 4, 22-9. Throwing a pair of 1s here. Now, he might be flexing, so I'm not necessarily going to just outright. Just a 5. You know what? I'll go in on 1 just to think he might be flexing here because he's got to do something. He's down. Limited choices there. He went on 3. That's the game. If that's wrong here. Excuse me, if he's flexing, that's the game. I'm gonna go in on it. Let's see. If I'm wrong and that breaks my power meter, I will still have a lead. We'll see. There's a 5 or higher. He wins the round. Otherwise, I win the match. It was a flex. I win. A flexing hand always loses to a non-flexing hand. And while I got some good cards there at the end, it was a pair of 1s getting the win. So good game, Jimmy Z. I'm sure we'll have more. No rewards. It's like preseason NFL football. It's those stats don't really matter, particularly when the actual regular season launches. With this game, Blockchain Brawlers, this is the browser beta version, bcbrawlers.com. That's BC like B and C in blockchain, brawlers.com. Here we go, Jimmy. Back at it. Three-eight's a pretty strong way to come out, as much as I might not think it would be. That's going to beat a lot of hands. I mean, he's got like 6-7, 6-8 or something, bravo. He's going to be looking, though, early, trying to get a 3 or a 1 in there. So this could be trouble for me, but I'll go in on a bet at 2. Power meter. That's what determines how much damage you delivered to your opponent. He went on 3. He does that a lot. I'll confirm, and we'll see. I don't mind going in big early, even when it's perhaps dicey for me in that first round. It's the time to be bold. Let's see. Pair of 5s, I win the round. It's 5-6. It's a push. It was a flex, so I win, and I win with a 3. That's as important as anything. So with the bet of 3, a tripler in essence, to my 1 power meter, I win the round, which gives me 1 point to my power meter to 2. I get an additional 2 because I won the round with a 3 in my hand. So 25-22, I've got the lead. I've got a decent hand here for this second round against Jimmy Z in our second match here in this particular taping. Against the 2, I know I've got it for sure. We'll bet of 2. A doubler here against the 4 early. Jimmy's going to fold. That's the right play. I didn't mean to pick eye poke, but at least I could hear him call me an asshole at least once in this match. $25-18. Power meter will move to 5. Pair of 6s. Against the 7. Could be trouble. We got the advantage. I do want to press it, though. That pair of 6s is pretty strong. If it's 7-7 or 7-8, then, that will be a nice play there for Jimmy. But if it's something where it's otherwise, if he's going for a flex, which I think he might be, Then for me in this case, the column, I'm going to be delivering some major damage. We're talking 15. Oh, down to 3. Let's find out. Find out what you got, Jimmy Z. There's a flex. And there's that 15 damage. Pair of 6s. Again, a non-flexing hand always beats a flexing hand. 25-3, but the match is not over. You cannot let up in Blockchain Brawlers. Otherwise, let your opponent battle back into it in a hurry. So if I can get a fold here for whatever reason from Jimmy, and I were to go in on a bet, then I would be the winner, but that's not going to happen here. I'm just going to fold, and I really don't care what he has here. He's got a couple of cards. I've got a 6 already in my hand that I'll have for the next round. When you fold in Blockchain Brawlers, you get an extra card in your hand for the next round. You keep that advantage for the rest of the match. I folded. Jimmy's got the round. When you fold, though, it protects that power meter. That's very important. It's a flex. So a flex, though, isn't as good as it would sound, but it only doubles power meter at 1. There was no advantage for that 1 or a 3 in your hand. And you see the difference. If that had been a 5-3, that would have been an extra 2 points on top of it. So pretty good spot when we hear 6-7. He's got 4 cards. He knows he's up against it. I've got a 3. I got the match. It doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and bet a crippler because he's not going to. I'll bet 3. So I've got this for sure. He's nothing he can do at this point. Grab the cough button. I was paranoid. I'd forgotten for a second to lock in my bet of 3. So 18 points of damage. It's overkill, though. So a pretty decisive win for me there over Jimmy Z, 23-0. But I've had some pretty good draws as far as my cards have gone. Sometimes you'll get those, you get the right cards at the right time, and that can go a long way. No rewards for me, though. That's okay. And these are mostly just for demonstrative purposes. Blockchain Brawlers. bcbrawlers.com. The browser beta release that I'm recording as if I were live streaming, although I'm not, because for a number of reasons, it's not really set up for that properly at this point. Not my opinion, anyway. All right, so here we go again. Jimmy Z. Match number 3. Oh, he's going to be mad at me for this. I have had some nice cards. He's not, I mean, although, yeah, out of the gate, he's going to think for sure I'm not going to have this. Well, he's got a 1, so maybe he'll play a little tighter on this one. I don't know. Bet a 2 just to see. That's fine. What am I waiting on here? But completely absurd. And with a flying elbow. Not the worst time, though, to play that kind of aggressively, because a 1-4 is going to be any sort of a flex. So that'd been a 7-3 or a 7-1 for me, especially. We were trying to get those wins early with a 3 or a 1. That is a good one to call with, because that's going to... A flexing hand always loses to a non-flexing hand. Flexing being your first card. Your setup card is greater than your second card. It's only 1 through 8. There's 32 cards total in a shared deck. Let's see against a... you know what? Going on a bet of 1. Let's see. I'll go ahead and fold. This could prove to be a mistake. This could be a 5-3. Guess we'll see. Five, 7. So it was the correct decision to fold. Because I folded just 1 damage. You can bet whatever you want, 1 through 3, but if the other person folds, just for that single amount. So our meters are both at 2. I lead 24 to 22. 5-7. I'm going to go with this here. It's the 5. Bet at 2. This could be trouble. If it's an 8, then that's going to be a problem for me. But we'll go ahead and call it bet a 3. So one of us will be delivering 6 damage unless it's a push, in which case we both will. If in the event that happens, both of our power meters get reset. If you lose on a showdown where you both go in on a round and neither folds, and that's a 5-8, and that's 6 points of damage delivered by Jimmy Z, my power meter is going to get reset to 1. And it's a 22 to 18 lead there for Jimmy Z. And I've got a pretty brutal run of it here at the cards, although this is going to be any sort of a flex. I would think it's less likely here for Jimmy to flex, but he might. Pair of 1s will beat any flex against a 7. We'll bet a 1. We'll see. Now, granted, if he went, let's see, you know what? Let's go for it. If that's 7-7 or 7-8, then so be it. Otherwise, we're going to get it with a pair of 1s. And it wouldn't be any sort of, major shot as far as the damage delivered, but it'd be breaking his streak more than anything. So we'll see. That's 9 points coming my way. If that's a 7 or an 8, it's an 8. That's 9 damage coming my way. Just like that. 22 to 9. Jimmy's going to have his power meter go to 4. Mine stuck at 1. And this is where not folding can come back to bite you. I got this, just brutal. Although, you know what? I go the 1-3. Let's see if he's flexing here. Against a 2. At least pop in for 1. This could be trouble. I may fold. Fold. Wow. So I'm not sure what Jimmy had, but I went with both a 1 and a 3. So you see, that's going to give him a huge boost to my meter. So instead of going from 1 to 2, it's going to go from 1 to 6. Watch. Right there. 21 to 9. Jimmy with the lead, but that power meter boost there has me in a decent spot. I can at least, even if it's a flex here, I'm going to go ahead and throw out a 2-3 just to probably fold the hand. Against a 7. Again, probably... You know what? If that's a flex, I've got the round. He's going in for 3. Problem is, if I'm wrong here, that's the match. We'll have to fight another round. I need those extra cards anyway. But that would have been goodbye and good night for me. Unless that was a flex. This could have been a flex. That second card is lower than the first card. Or your slam card, the second card. 7-8. So that was the right move to fold. That would have been the match. Not in a great spot, but still alive. 21 to 5. My power meter's intact. It's at 6. Jimmy's at 5. 6-7 coming at you. And we'll see what this will get me. Okay, so I've got at least this round. I'll go win with a bet of 2. We'll see what Jimmy's going to bet here. Bet a 1. We saw that came in at 2, so it's either going to be a fold or he's going to call me. He folded. That was the right play. Good play by Jimmy. Whatever else he had, it didn't matter. I was going to beat it because 6 and a 7 is going to beat a 4 and an 8. And there's no higher card in this game than an 8. So 6 damage. Now, I wasn't going to outright beat him anyway on an all-in. He may have been waiting for another round, knowing that he had that luxury. Okay. So, I mean, you see, I'm at 5. That's at 5. Got to go with a 5-6. We'll see. I don't know he's going to have a 7. I mean, I've got to go in. Got to go in heavy on it. If it's a flex, I win. Otherwise, it's going to be Jimmy's. find out. It's an 8, and Jimmy wins. A good match. So Jimmy avenges his prior 2 losses with a victory. This is actually working out pretty decently as far as flow of play. Doing the whole posting the connection code or whatever it's called in the Discord. So exit to menu. Gonna go brawl. Another match with Jimmy. Here we go. All right, pair of 6s will be pretty decent to start out with. One with a bet of 1. Jimmy will probably go 3, as is his style. We'll call him because it's not a big deal. If you lose in the first round, not a big deal. I would normally say stick around. Be aggressive in round 1. For any beginners. Or people trying to figure me out. Good luck with that. Let's see. We both went in on that bet of 3, so he probably had something here. Let's see. This, to me, is more anything. This is insurance against him having a 3 or a 1. Because his power meter only goes up to 2. That's kind of the way I look at this. Because that boost you get going into round 2, I'll let people that know stats will handle that as far as calculating and tabulating. But it's going to be interesting to see what patterns emerge as far as what happens with people's betting patterns or when they choose to fold and how much. So good audio there. I love that crisp audio. 5 and an 8. I've got the round for sure. Like the rude flex. We'll go with a bet of 2. Jimmy came with, now this could prove to be a mistake. If he came in with 1, he's going to fold, then he gets an extra card for his next hand. Instead, he went ahead and called me on it, so that's fine. That'll break his power meter, although being at 2, it's not a big deal. If you can be aggressive early like this, then it usually works out pretty well for you. In this case, he's running into a 5 and an 8. So a 3 and a 3, whereas that would have been 5-3 or 5-1. You're going to see that quite a bit from people that are trying to sneak in there and get that win with a 3 or a 1 with their opponent folds. And a non-flexing hand will always beat a flexing hand. Again, flexings where your first card, your setup, is a higher card than your second. The flip being if you win a hand that way, or round that way, with a flex, it doubles your power meter. Oh, we'll go 1-2. This will almost for sure be a fold, although we'll see. Jimmy's got a 3. I can't just fold against the 3 out of principle. I always see him into a... Yeah, that's a 3-1 or something. I'm going to call it. To me, there's just... If that's 3-1 or something, it's just too risky to leave that out there as a possibility. Especially because Jimmy's played very loose. But, I mean, playing loose is part of the game. You play too tight, you lose. 3-4. That'll break my power meter. It's a good play by Jimmy. He gets to win with a 3. More than anything, that's big because it'll boost his power meter. That additional 2. So he wins and moves to 2. Winning with a 3 in his hand for that round moves it to 4. So a 7-8's a nice... Whatever that exchange is going on there in the ring. This is at 70%. This is the browser beta version. 7 and 8, so it'll be a push no matter what. If it's an 8 for him. Otherwise, I win the round. Either way, that would break his power meter. One, at least just with a 1 to do that, if nothing else. He went with a 3. Fine by me. I don't care about the damage delivered as much as I care about breaking his power meter. Now, the caveat is that's 7-8. That's going to be 4 points on his power meter multiplied by 3. So that'd be 12 coming my way. So we'll see. It's 7-7. A lot different than 7-8. It's a 7-8. So, okay, it's the reset on the power meter, but the flip is that's going to be 12 points of damage coming to me. See? That's the way this game works. All right, so good spot here to go like 6-3. Something to try and mix it up a little bit. Thinking he might throw away here. I mean, at this point, where you're down like this, I mean, he's not going to beat me this round. He might, for all I know, we have matching 6-3. We'll go ahead and act real tough and bet 3 here. Give it a 1, which is interesting. So he knows if I've got a 6-6 or better, that's a fold there. 6-6 or better, and I win that particular round. But because it's 6-3, it's a flex. Not a big deal. The flex only doubles the 1 to 2, but it gives me the 2 additional points to my power meter for the next move, for the next round, and that is a crucial part of this game. So let's see, only 2 points of damage, no big deal. He still has a sizable lead, 18-7, but it's that power meter. That's what really makes the difference here. So it goes to 4. I can always dump out. I need the extra card anyway. At some point, I'm going to do it in all likelihood. I can protect the power meter. He may come in a little aggressive knowing that as well. Because even if that's a flex, I don't care. It's only an extra point of damage. Looking at 1 point versus 2 as opposed to taking 12 points before on that round. So you have a push, but it's not truly a tie, depending on the power meter. And therein lies a lot of the balance of this game. Let's see what Jimmy had here. $6-7. So I made the proper decision to fold. It's just 1 point of damage. Now that'll move the power meter up to 2 for Jimmy, 18-6. So if this goes to bet a 3 here and he wins this round, this will be his match, but that's not going to happen with a pair of 8s. He might think that I'm coming in here with some sort of a flex. We'll play it off soft with just the 1, just to see what he does. He came in at 1 as well. I didn't want to be able to just fold his way out like I thought he might. I don't know if that was the right move or not, but that was the decision. He had to think I was going in there with something that wasn't 8-8. Pretty strong move there, the 1 and the 3. If you win a round with that, and if that had been anything but 8-8, that would have been a round winner for him. Then you're in a really good spot. So, still down 14-6. With a pair of 6s here. Power meter's at 5. So he's going to know that. Maybe play a little bit more aggressively. We'll bet 2. Bet a 2 here. It'll be 10 points to him if you were to... He's going for 3. If that's a flex, this is me winning the match, I believe. That would be, 15 points of damage to him. 5 on the power meter. 3 with a tripler, but that's a 7 or an 8. It's a very different story. Let's see what you got, Jimmy. It was a flex. And that's a victory. A come-from-behind victory over Jimmy Z. Another good game. We've had some very good back-and-forth battles here. And I found with Blockchain Brawlers, the easiest way for me to tell people to learn how to play this game is to watch somebody else do it. I see very much similarities with this in speed chess, as far as what I think is going to be huge potential as far as live streaming goes, be it on Twitch, YouTube, or wherever else. I got 2-factor authentication anyway. Here we go. Another matchup against Jimmy Z. I'll go, yeah, you know what? With a pair of 5s. I thought about 5-6. I'll save the 6 for the next round. I'll go pair of 5s against a 2. Now that's going to be a bit of a regret for me here. If that ends up being an 8 as the second card, I'll take my chances. We'll bet 2 with a pair of 5s at most at the push. It's the first round, so it doesn't matter as much. You're going to have looser play in general in the first round. That's a smart way to go. He went in for 1 and then folded, which is interesting. Which is actually a smart play because by doing that, Jimmy gets the extra card that you get when you fold in this game. And that's where I probably should have just gone in for 1. But you can't be too predictable, right? So 1 point of damage delivered. But I kept the 6 for the next round here. I'm tempted to go 6-3. I think I will. It's the 3. Go bet a 2. He went bet a 2. So if that's not a flex, Jimmy wins the round. Otherwise, if it's a 2 or a 1 here, I win the round. Otherwise, round goes to Jimmy. 3-3. Oh, a great play there. You know what? That was a great play by Jimmy. Pair of 3s. Not as much winning the round. Who cares about that? It's getting that boost of 4 additional on top of the win. Look at that, going to 6. That's a tough spot. All right. Well, let's hope he's flexing here. Pair of 3s. Against a 2. At least going on a bet of 1. It's a fold, which is good for me. I'll definitely take a fold from him at that point. I get the 3 and the 3, which means I get the big 4-point boost on top of the extra point. Or the normal 1 point you get for winning a round. Only 1 damage, but that's, again, that's not what's important to me. What's important is my meter going from 1 to 6. So now Jimmy's meter's at 6, mine's at 6. We're tied at 23. I think I'm going to dump here. Although just dumping, if that's against a flex, and that's risky. That's real risky. So that's either pocket 8s. Let's go in. Let's bet a 2. Let's see. Let's see. He went in for 1, which is interesting. Either he's going to call or he's going to fold. If he had a pair of 8s, well, okay, we'll see. If it's a pair of 8s. And the round is Jimmy's, and that's a huge swing. Pair of 8s. So a really tough spot here for me, despite the nice cards down there. We'll go 7-8. I'm down 23-11. Jimmy's got a power meter of 7. I've got a power meter of 1. Well, against the 6. Go bet a 2. Well, let's see. Maybe I should have gone in for a 1. Probably should have. If that's a 1 and a fold by Jimmy, then that's just me getting outplayed there. I should have thought it through better. Okay, well, I know I've got the nuts for this round anyway. Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy let me back in it. All right. Because there's no card he's going to have that's going to beat a 7-8 there. And that's going to break his power meter. $6-8. So we get the damage delivered. I'm disinterested in that relative to the big development. Power meter broken on Jimmy's side. Mine's at 2. Now, I'm still down by a considerable amount, but I got a pair of 7s to use here. I could go 7-3 and get tricky with it. Actually, I might do that. No, I won't. We'll go pair of 7s. Play some strength in here. I know I got this for sure. We'll go with a bet of 2. Fold. But Jimmy did the right thing. I should have played 7-3 in hindsight. That's hindsight, right? 2 points of damage delivered. Still a sizable lead, though. 18-11. Jimmy's got the advantage. My power meter only moves up 1. Goes to 3. His is a 1. This is the browser beta version. All right. One 3 beats anything. That's a flex, which this might be here. Against a 7. Although he's probably going to be playing that pretty tight. It's almost worth just getting in there to see. And my meter's at 3. I don't want to just squander it. Pretty strong bet there, but he didn't have much to lose. If that's a flex, it's a huge swing. Let's see. A 7 or 8, and that's Jimmy's round. Otherwise, the round goes to me. 7. Jimmy, the pair of 7s. And again, the most important thing, perhaps, is my meter getting knocked back down to 1. His is at 2. He leads 18 to 8. I can go with a 7 and 7 here. Now, if you had a big power meter and you played like 7-5 and got your opponent to fold, that's the flex, and the flex means you're going to double your power meter. But when your power meter's at 1, that really doesn't matter. Against a 2, let's see if I can avoid him. Well, he's got 4 cards anyway. He's probably going to fold here. So he can start trying to stockpile a bit. So the question would be if he's going to come in on 1. That was just folded. Not surprising. Not surprising. And I didn't have the cards in place to punish him with a 3 or a 1. So now discards are coming into play. Now his power meter's at 2, mine's at 8. What a 1-5. Against a 6. Let's get in for a bet of 1. See what he's going in for 3. Remember, he just had that discard there, so that could be. He didn't know what I had. Well, I think we'll fold here. I think I've got to. I'm not going to win this hand on this particular round. Or this match. So I folded, right? Yeah. So it'll be 2 points of damage delivered unless it's a flex. That'll double it to 4 points of damage. The more, okay, so that was the right move to fold 6-8 against a 6-3 or a 6-1. That would have been different as far as his power meter getting a big boost. Still, I'm in a bad spot here. Down 17 to 6. Okay, come in with. He's going to want to protect that somewhat. It's going to be the time to go with a flex. We'll go 6-3. It's a 1. And someday there's going to be in the book what you do. In this case, let's go with a bet of 2. Remember, he's got that power meter to protect. That's a fold. So I win with a flex, which gets 4 points of damage because of the doubling that you get when you win around with a flex. In addition, because I won with a 3, I get the extra 2 points. So my meter is now at 2. Winning the round moves it to 3. Winning the round with the 3 in my hand moves it an additional 2 to 5. So it's 13 to 6. Jimmy leads. My power meter's at 5. Now, if he were to flex here, even if I fold something just... I don't like this. Like if this is 6-3 and I fold here, that's goodbye and good night. I think it's worth at least sticking around for 1, because this will beat any sort of a flex here, and he does have to get something extra going, potentially. Let's see, we'll get in on that. He's got a doubler, knowing that's going to beat me for sure. If he really had the nuts, we'd gone for 3, though. Maybe not. He wouldn't want to scare me off. Let's fold and live to see another hand. Unless he happens to flex. If that's a flex, then that's it. Yeah, all those cards, I think he'd be playing pretty tight. Maybe not. All right, so that was the right move to fold, wasn't it? Is that 6-8? 13 to 3. Jimmy Z with the lead. Let's see. You got at least a 6 and a 7. Give me a fighting chance here. It's the 1, so I've got the round for sure. We'll do bet of 2. If he were to go with a 3 here, that would give me a chance to win the round, but I don't want to scare him off. He folded. That was the right play. Good play by Jimmy. So here we are, 8-3. Jimmy's got the lead. He's got 4 points on his power meter. I've got now 6 on mine. So this goes to a bet of 2. The question would be if I were to scare him off here. Let's do it. Oh, I probably should have gone 7-4 instead of 7-1, but too late. Let's see. So, that's the flex. Maybe that wasn't the right move. He came in with 1. Well, let's see what he's got. Unless it's a 1, Jimmy's going to get the win. There's the 7. I'll put up a valiant effort. Went 13 rounds. Good game, Jimmy. Some solid play there by Jimmy. Jimmy's the victorious. Let's see. Can never find the mouse here in the confetti after the win or loss. So let's see. I guess I jumped ahead to the next song. I had too long. I was going for like the kind of music I might have heard at a nightclub in Ybor City. I lived in Tampa circa 2003. Give me some of that breakbeat sound. Amphitheater. I lived in Ybor. You can make a movie on my life in just the 5 years I spent living down there. And if it weren't true, you wouldn't believe it for some of it. Put it like that. Read what Jimmy wrote. Well, give me pointers. I love the trash talk stuff's fun to me. Funny because I've seen Jimmy have some back and forth trash talk on the Discord channel. One of those where I hadn't faced off with him yet, but I knew sooner or later our paths were going to cross. Here we go. So I don't know if this is a real person or if this is just another unknown player. I guess it's going to end the way it began against someone from parts unknowns. That probably means a computer opponent. You go 1-2. 1 and 2 is not a bad way to start. Even those are low cards. It's your first round. If you win, you're going to be any flexing hand. A flexing hand where your first card is higher, your setup card is higher than your second card. Against the 3, that really is a rough draw. You want to at least stick around for 1. Your power meter is going to stay at 1 even if you lose. That doesn't matter. If that's a flex, 3-1 flex, you're going to beat that. Let's see if they go with a 2. I'll bet 2, but I don't like my chances. We'll see. I'm folding against a 3 in round 1. I don't like doing it. It was a 3-1. And that's why I love the 1-2 in that situation. Any sort of a flex, you're going to beat it. And they can whine to you later about the cards. So when you've got a 7-8, they can't say, well, you got all the good cards. Well, no, I beat you with a 1 and 2, pal. And you got the low and the high. Power meter's at 4. Big part of it. When you win with a 1 or a 3 in your hand, that 1-2 that I won with, that 1, that was a big part of it. So this could be 7 and 8 would, well, let's see. At least going for the 1, obviously. Pair of 8s beats me. And with a 2. I think folding here, I can't do that. I gotta go in with it. 7 and 8. If they've got a pair of 8s, then fair enough, we'll regroup. Otherwise, that's 8 points going their way. There's no way to push here because if it's 8-7, that's a flex. And a flexing hand always loses, so a non-flexing hand, it was a flex. So as noted, the 8 points of damage. Power meter goes from 4 to 5 for the next turn. I lead 25 to 15. At this point, going with the 3-1, having those cards in there, not as important when your power meter is already at 5. At that point, protecting that and building on that. It's an 8. Pair of 8s, then so be it. Kind of the way I look at it. Yeah, let's go in with a bet of 3. It's either a pair of 8s and they win. I went in for 3. They went in for 2. A tripler against a 5. That's going to be 15. That'd be the match. I win in 3 rounds. Big decision. That's going to be it, won't it? Unless it's another 8. Let's see. It was a flex. And look at that, 3 rounds. And that's it. That's a victory. So a 3-round victory. Maybe a computer opponent. It probably was. That'd be an odd way for a human opponent to bet, but at this point, you don't really know. All right, so that's it for this live-to-tape recording session. A couple of matches against unknown players that may or may not have been computer opponents. I can say, at least it seems the computer opponents have been a bit smarter in their play than they were at the 60% mark of this game's development when it was the Steam beta release. This is the browser beta Blockchain Brawlers, bcbrawlers.com. And you can expect a lot of this coming up here in the upcoming weeks and likely months as well. NashvilleLou Live, and then here on YouTube as well. I'm Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.